All right, so we're live now. What is up, everybody? I know everybody missed me. I was gone for a whole week. You can blame this guy. Speaking of this guy, this is Patrick. Patrick is from a wonderful company in the overlanding community called Orbis Overlanding. How's it going today, Patrick?
Yeah, it's good. It's
awesome.
Real good.
Awesome. Yeah, so Patrick, first off, kind of tell us what the heck is Orbis Overlanding?
Yeah, so Orbis Overlanding is here to help specifically Subaru drivers. Not that I have any problem with those that drive other things like Land Cruisers or whatever, but what I do specifically is help Subaru drivers outfit their rigs for off-road and overlanding. And I do that with some products that I've developed, and I do that with a handful of tried and true tested partners that I'm a dealer for, and then can help people put packages together, lift kits and tires and wheels, and molly panels are a product of mine, and then the rack wing is another one of mine that allows Rotopax tanks and other things, shovels, axes, whatever, to be carried on the side of Subarus.
Nice. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot now because we didn't prepare enough for this. Find a photo of your wing rack. That's what I need. That's what we need to see. But
yep. All right,
I'll hang on to this until then. So looks like we got some people here. So hello everyone, and Patrick has been gracious enough to offer a giveaway for this live stream for anybody tuning in, and we'll talk about this more and remind people as more people start showing up. But what we want to know from you, and Patrick's going to pick the winner, what we want to know from you is your most epic overlanding trip that you've been on. We want to know the destination. We want to know any hurdles that you encountered while traveling to your destination. So yeah, post that up in the comments. And at the end of the live stream, Patrick will pick somebody, and you'll get a super sweet Orbis Overlanding swag pack sent out to you. So, with that being said, as everybody knows, we just got back from a super awesome expedition up in the UP that Patrick handled that all. Wannabe Overland stepped up. We showed up as one of the sponsors, and we were the official recovery rig. Luckily, we had no recoveries, so that was good. No recoveries, so that was a win. But we did have to winch a tree out of the way, so that was also cool.
Yep, we got to use the tools.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it looks like you got your photo, your rack wing pulled up here.
Yep, this will work.
Boom, there it is.
Yep, so that's the rack wing with Rotopax tank. On the other side, you can see I've got a shovel mounted up there. I have another accessory here, which I'm prototyping.
I noticed that, and I forgot to ask you all about that. I noticed that.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of work, but that's okay. It's a first cut prototype. But the idea is to provide just another mounting solution across the back. You see I've got my Midland antenna there. I intended to have my lights moved down, but I ran out of time before we left.
Didn't we all?
There's some other accessory mounts that I've been working on. So when I launch it, I'm hoping to have at least a couple of kind of accessories to go with it. I'm not going to dive in right now into what those are because they're kind of closely guarded secrets at the moment, but
top secret stuff.
Yeah, so just another solution. you know, it can be used independent of like a basket or whatever. So yeah, but
awesome.
that's the rack wing. That's where Orbis Overlanding started, so to speak, was that piece right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you know, for those of you who attend this live stream regularly, you know, we always have our brew on Wednesday nights. Again, we're doing some Rheingeist, Truth, India Pale Ale in our lovely Orbis Overlanding koozie, helping keep it nice and cold. You know, you can't forget that; it's essential. Those are one of those going to be in the swag pack, right?
You betcha.
We're gonna have one of those in the swag pack.
Yep.
You two can have your very own Orbis Overlanding koozie. So
and I'm doing Revolution Brewery Freedom of Speech.
Yes. See, Patrick's got the idea. Drinking beer too. It's great. That's like an essential for overlanding, really.
Only at camp.
Yeah, only at camp. Overland responsibly, people. Come on, responsible. So, all right, Patrick.
Yeah.
Let's reminisce on some memories here. How did we meet?
How did we meet? We were gonna go winter overlanding in the UP. And either I and Josh or you and Josh were looking for someone foolish enough to tag along.
Foolish enough is definitely the right word. And
then I believe I bailed, is pretty much what happened.
You bailed.
Because
Absolutely.
I was coaching soccer, which I was doing. But so that's how we met. So our first event was with Sasquatch Overlanding.
Yep.
That's when I met Jen from Eccentric Designs and a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, that was a first time meeting the internet friends.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how it always is with this kind of thing. You know, you meet people out of state, and then you know you never actually meet them for a while, and then eventually your paths cross, and boom, then you can't get rid of the other person, unfortunately, or fortunately, it just depends.
Depends.
Right. So, all right. So for those of you just tuning in, this is Patrick, Orbis Overlanding. Again, we're going to be giving away a swag pack at the end of this podcast, live stream podcast, kind of the same, kind of different. But drop in the comments your most epic overland trip, any hurdles you had to overcome. Just fill us in, and Patrick will pick his favorite story at the end of the podcast. So, all right, Patrick, let's just jump right into it. Okay. What the heck did we just do last week?
Right. So what we did extensively is we drove from one side of the UP to the other side of the UP.
Now,
and
what's the UP? What's the
UP?
UP?
See, being from Michigan, like we just nonchalant call it the UP and just assume that everybody knows what we're talking about because we feel like you should just know what we're talking about. So the UP is Michigan's Upper Peninsula up here, and at a high level we crossed the Mackinac Bridge and drove here from Paradise up here to Copper Harbor and over here to the Porcupine Mountains.
Man, yeah, that was an awesome trip. Now, why did we do that? What was the purpose of this? And listen very carefully here, everybody. I have some homework for you to do after you get done watching this.
Yeah, so we did it. Well, we did it for several reasons, right? One, we did it because it was cool, and two, we did it because it's beautiful. But as important as any of those, we did it because there's a really cool organization in the Keweenaw, in the Copper Harbor area called Cork. It's KORC, which is the Keweenaw Outdoor Recreation Coalition. And what they are doing is working on a big chunk of land that is becoming available for sale. up in the tip of the Keweenaw. I don't remember. It's something like 46,000 acres, I think, if I remember correctly. And what they're doing essentially is working with the state to build a plan for how to safely manage, ecologically manage, and provide this huge area of land a life as an outdoor recreation area, right? So, listening to Cork, and and I always like to think about the fact that it's not just overlanders in this area that love the Keweenaw. The mountain biking is some of the best in the country. I know I'm not really a big bird watcher, I will fully admit, but I know that there's migratory birds that come through that area that don't stop really in a whole lot of places in the U.S. So there's a lot of bird watching up there. The hiking is really cool for the same reason that overlanding is cool and the mountain biking is cool. So there's a lot of different uses up there.
So show everybody on the map that you got pulled up here where exactly the Keweenaw is.
Yep. So, okay, yeah. So starting a little further out, the Keweenaw is up here. It's this point that sticks out into Lake Superior. And the area specifically that we're talking about is a huge portion of this right here that is not the darker green, indicating that it's public land. So effectively, if they can get this done and manage with the state, a huge chunk of this tip becomes public land and not private land. So, no condos, no anything like that gets built on it. So that's really what Cork is all about. So, yeah, as much as anything else, I mean, the reason that we decided to embark on this particular trip was to help raise money, raise awareness for Cork and, what is going on up there in the Keweenaw.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a cause that, that is near and dear to Wannabe Overland's heart, because some of our, first overlanding trips really were up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And that's a place pretty much, I mean, it's not, it's a 9-hour drive from home base here, but I mean, man, it's worth a 9-hour drive every time.
Right.
It's gorgeous up there. So, Patrick, you have some of the photos from our trip pulled up, is that right?
I do, yep. Let's see. All right, so Crisp Point Lighthouse. Now, this is way back on the eastern part of the UP. The Crisp Point Lighthouse is a really cool spot for a couple reasons. One, it's super remote. In fact, I believe that in the entire Coast Guard lighthouse infrastructure, that it's actually the most remote of the lighthouses. So that even includes, lighthouses that are out in Maine and the Pacific Northwest. So it's way out in the middle of nothing, and the roads are really cool to get out there. But then when you get out there, the Crisp Point Lighthouse Association over the last 8 or 10 years has done a really, really cool job of restoring the lighthouse and the area around it. So it's just a fantastic place to end up in, out in the middle of nothing. Yeah. You can get up into the tower. I didn't grab a picture of that, but you can climb the tower. You can see forever.
Yeah,
it's a cool spot.
So I climbed up the tower. All right, and for those of you that know me, I am not a small boy by any means. All right, I'm a large man. Okay, and let me tell you, the door, so you can actually get out if you. Patrick, can you zoom in on that a little bit there? On the top of the lighthouse there. So, oh yeah, there's somebody out there. So, you can actually get out there, and there's a little itty bitty door, and I mean, I'm talking like 3 feet tall by maybe 2 feet wide. You got to really, really crouch to get out there.
The door's right there. You can't see it, but it fits in one of these bays. Yeah, so it's itty bitty. Door.
And, you know, I had to squeeze my big butt through that door. But let me tell you, it was worth it. That was such an amazing experience to be able to go there and feel the wind, right? Like, the wind up there. Do you know how tall that lighthouse is off the top of your head, Patrick?
I don't.
No. Okay.
It's got to be 60 or 80 feet, though.
Yeah. I'd say that's about right. That's what I was kind of estimating. So, yeah, I mean, that is, man, that's a beautiful spot. And I believe for our fall trip, Patrick is doing the routing for us for that trip. Is that going to be a spot that you're going to put in the route here, Patrick?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And there's a good chance that because of where it is, that you could even be near peak fall colors. So that'd be a really cool ride.
Yeah. So, you know, so this is at the bottom of the screen there. You can kind of see our website. So there you can check out all of our trips that we have, and our UP trip that we have planned this fall is posted on there. So we got a handful of spots left for that. So again, take this in and, you know, decide if this is something that you'd be interested in tagging along with us for. So, all right, what do we got next on our photo list here?
Next is one of our sand roads. I believe the one spot where we almost needed a recovery was
yeah, that was it got kind of spicy for a second there.
Yeah, dusty too.
So dusty.
Yeah, so this area, it just actually west of Chris Point Lighthouse. Kind of a new area to me for this trip. I went through it on my my recce trip before. But what I think is neat about this is, as you can see, there's no tall trees right here. There's a huge forest fire in 2012 called the Duck Lake Forest Fire, and burned many acres. And so this road basically cuts right through the middle of that section. So it's just an interesting kind of contrast, I guess, to the forest up there, because you know it's basically new growth because of this fire that went through the area.
Yeah, that was from a non-Michigan resident. That was a really incredible sight to see. Kind of humbling in a way, because it's really crazy to think that, you know, a giant forest fire came through there, took the whole land level, and then now Mother Nature is kind of reclaiming what's hers, right? And growing back. And man, it's just beautiful. The Upper Peninsula is just absolutely breathtaking. And there you can see the lovely white booty of Ghost Trek. That's Jen. She owns Eccentric Designs, and who makes she makes the Orbis Overlanding stickers also. She makes all the Orbis Overlanding stickers and the Wannabe Overland stickers. So yeah, I mean, that's a super great photo there. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful.
All right, here's another one on the trail. I think I recognize the vehicle here in the end.
Yeah, it's functioning. Yeah, so that's our yeah, it's functioning right then. It's great.
It functioned the whole trip.
It did function the whole trip. It was never dicey anytime, so that was nice. Last year it broke down twice. For those of you that you know haven't followed along for that long, but that was also 5 days after we bought the truck, so you know, kind of to be expected at that point. But yeah, so in that photo, you got the 80 leading up the trail here. We had what? How many? 15?
14.
14 rigs.
Yep, 14
so,
rigs.
For anybody who's been on like dusty trails with 14 other vehicles before, you can just imagine what I was dealing with. So, yeah, say a prayer for my lungs, because it was bad. But yeah, so that's our 80 on the trails, cruising along the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Beautiful time.
Campfire time.
Oh, oh yes, campfire. Is this when the fearless leader Patrick was giving his speech?
Yep, this was a driver's meeting.
Yeah, lovely, lovely.
Yeah, so the way that I do them, and people that are leading trips do things differently, but I do my driver's meetings in the evening, typically right kind of after everybody has dinner. Normally I'm eating my dinner during the driver's meeting. I don't know why that is. I'm always like the last one to eat. I'm the last one to clean up. Anyway, I'm often the last one to get going in the morning too. Yeah, so driver's meeting. So we do kind of a quick recap on the day, share some stories and some laughs, and then, you know, talk about what's coming up the next morning, set our departure time, that sort of thing. And again, I don't know if everybody does it this way, but I don't share the route ahead of time. So when you go on a trip with Orbis Overlanding, unless you're part of the support team, you don't know where you're going day to day. And so you find out some details at the driver's meeting the night before, and then in the morning we head off.
Yeah, that was I like that aspect, right? That's a really nice aspect to be able to kind of not know where you're going, but for this trip, it was really nice to be able to know we're going to be going this number of miles today. This many of them are off-road, this many are on-road. Here's some potential hangups we could encounter. So it was really nice. And, you know, guys, this photo right here sums up exactly why Wannabe Overland exists. Because we want to be able to bring people together in the community. And now, Patrick, I think you can vouch for me when I say this, is I haven't been on a group trip where everybody just kind of gets along and has a good time every time. I mean, it's an amazing time, and like the camaraderie, and you meet people from all walks of life, right? I mean, there's people that are, you know, there's people that have these big, we'll get into this more later, but these people that have these huge Rams that are on very large tires, all the way to, you know, the stock Tacomas, and, you know, there's Subarus out there. And so it's really nice. This is kind of what brings everybody in the community together. Yep. And the camaraderie on the fire is definitely, I mean, it's amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better.
I would agree.
And again, you can see the lovely bush apple there in the photo. You know, it's a great time to sit around the fire, drink a beer, hang out with everybody, or lay in bed with your dog, like Jen's doing there. I mean, you know, you just there's a spot for everybody.
That's right. Yep.
So, all right. What else
so,
we got?
One of my favorite things about the UP is the sky. And so our buddy Josh, who actually all these pictures are courtesy of Josh, because he's just a good photographer. And
we actually hired Josh to come on our Upper Peninsula trip in the fall. So with that, what that's going to get you is we guarantee 5. Yes, you heard it. 5 high quality professional photos edited of your rig, whether it be at camp, on the trails, wherever that is. We got you covered on some photos. So looks like we got more people tuning in. I'm going to jump in here one more time. Patrick from Orbis Overlanding is who we got on here tonight, guys. He has been ever so gracious to offer you a swag pack courtesy of Orbis Overlanding. All you need to do to enter to win that swag pack is post up in the comments what your most epic overlanding trip was and any hurdles you had to encounter. At the end of this live stream, Patrick will pick somebody, whatever he thinks his favorite story is, and we'll get that taken care of for you guys. So looks like now we are talking about some amazing night photography via Mr. Josh Colgrove.
Yeah. So the night sky in the UP is amazing because there's not a lot of light pollution, and Josh and skills that I don't understand did an awesome job capturing
Sorcery.
that. And yeah, so that's one of the things I love. You know, for those that don't know, I have one of the little Coleman pop-up tents. It's real small, and I love sleeping with the rain fly off and just being able to go to sleep with all those stars right over my head. So yeah, so I had to throw the night picture into the group here.
Yeah. So with that, Patrick, I want to jump into story time.
Okay.
About our I don't know, what are we gonna call it? Not so lovely night sleeping.
Oh, we're gonna go there, huh?
We're gonna go there. We're just gonna jump right into it. So all right. So here we are. Let me set this up for you guys. Okay.
Well,
so we are at.
Before you get too far, what we should set up first is this is what it looked like driving in. We're not right. Hang on. This is what it looked like driving in that morning.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so if you know the lakes, you'll understand some of this, but cold air or cold water, warm air, fog, weather changes like that all kind of started happening on that last day. So yeah. Yep. All right, go for it. Jump into it.
All right. Well, we're gonna even sidetrack a little bit further. So we have from Mr. Rebel Outdoors himself, Hunter. So we got some comments coming in, Patrick, for you here. So looks like Hunter took a trip from North Carolina to Texas, then up through Colorado and into Moab. About 20 miles out from town, his RPMs went through the moon, started smelling some oil. His engine only had 2 quarts of oil left, and the oil filter wasn't installed correctly, and it was leaking his whole trip.
Nice.
That sounds like a me thing. I'm gonna be honest. Gonna be honest. So, and we got Mr. Kyle Burns here, Colorado to Moab. That's a good trip, man. I mean, I bet that was really beautiful to be able to see that. So so Patrick, this is one of my James. By the way, shout out to you, James. You were kicking butt at work today. You can get through this day. He's been at work. My man's been at work for 13 hours straight, Patrick.
Ouch.
And he's still going. So, his favorite trip was when I had to take apart the grill on his Jeep to stop it from overheating on the trails.
I feel like there might be more to that story, but
there actually so all right, so here's the story. So he just purchased this nice used Jeep. And it's like this really cool yellow color. It's awesome. And
did he show up like 3 or 4 days after buying it to like a 5-day overlanding trip?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, so you guys are like 2 peas in a pod, pretty much.
2 peas in a pod. Yeah. See, we just get each other. All right. So, he took this Jeep out, and we went to the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. Okay. And we're cruising, just having a good old time. And he keeps telling me on the radio, "Hey, Cody, my Jeep's running a little warm. It's running a little warm." And I'm like, "All right, you know, it's probably fine." Oh yeah. And Patrick, here you go. This is what kind of guy this man is here. He buried his Jeep to the chassis the second day that he owned it.
Okay.
Basically me. It's fine. So he was just complaining about his Jeep over getting warm, you know, and I'm like, well, Jeeps run a little warm anyway. So finally we were like, well, you have that. He had like the Angry Eyes grill. You seen the Angry Eyes grill? Yep. So he had one of those, and I was like, man, we got to take that sucker off. It's causing you to overheat. So we like disassembled half of this grill and like put it back on his Jeep and finished out the ride, and it ended up being fine the whole rest of the day. Coming to find out, his James, correct me if I'm wrong, the radiator fans were not kicking on.
Oh.
So, but we were able to fake it till we make it all the way through the trail that day. So it was a good time, super good time. So,
Nice.
all right. So there's so we got 3 options for you there, Patrick. But now let's get into our side quest. So let's get out of the side quest. So we ran into a very angry storm one night.
Yep.
And I went to bed early that night because it was a long day. I was just tired, right? And I got woke up. What would you say, Patrick? About 11 o'clock is when it really started going down.
Yeah, I was right about then.
So I was dead asleep, and for those of you that don't know, I have a Gazelle T4 ground tent that I sleep in. Best tent ever, by the way. So next thing I know, my tent is floating off the ground. I am asleep. Air mattress is hovering where I'm sleeping with my wife, and the side of the tent just collapses in, and I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So woke up Alexa, the tent turned into a sail, and it was a nightmare. Long story short, the tent broke in 2 places. We had to get a motel room that night. Quite interesting fellow that greeted us at the entrance of the motel.
Yeah. But I guess the other piece of that is, like, you know, you say we got a hotel room kind of nonchalant. The hotel room is an hour away on heavily watered dirt, gravel, all the way back into Copper Harbor.
It was the worst part of the trails that we had been on the whole trip.
Yep.
We had to, we had to trek through it. There was some deep water, So in the Upper Peninsula, folks, us Southerners, so us Southerners being Indiana people and South, we have water crossings. Up in the Upper Peninsula, you have puddle crossings.
Right. Most of them are bigger than your water crossing.
But they're really big puddles. So it's just funny to me. That's something I had to get used to, calling them a puddle crossing instead of a water crossing. But yeah, Patrick had to adventure out in the middle of the night. You almost ran over a bear, right?
Yeah, it wasn't that close, but I did see a bear.
There was a bear in the trail. He was trying to stop us from getting out. We had trailers with sketchy trailer hitches. It was basically a blast. But we ended up getting a hotel room, and luckily we were able to get the hotel room. Thank God, because literally no idea where we were able to sleep that night.
Yep. And we got settled in about 5 minutes before it all hit.
Yeah. I had to smuggle Rue into the hotel room.
That's right. Yep.
It's just
good times.
Just an all-around good time. Just a great time. So the Gazelle, turns out 45, 50 mile an hour winds. The Gazelle tent does not love that. But I will say, the lovely people at Gazelle, all I had to do was shoot them an email, and they were on it. They said, look, we are so sorry that happened. We're going to send you a new tent. That's customer service. What more could you ask for? They literally, without hesitations, were just like, yep, we'll get you a new tent. Sorry that happened to you, brother. And bada bing, bada boom, problem solved. So, all right. That's our side quest mission. Patrick, what you got next on our photo reel?
Next picture to share is this one.
Ooh, yes. The bug mecca of the UP.
There were bugs.
So
the mosquito is about yay big.
Yeah. So, 2 things I've learned since going to the UP regularly. You're gonna need a bigger can of bug spray.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, you're gonna need a bigger can of bug spray.
Yes.
The mosquitoes there are large enough to carry you away. And then not to mention the biting flies.
Which really weren't bad this week. Except for the first day.
And the last day.
Oh yeah, and the last day. Yep, you're right.
Awful.
Yep.
But, alright.
Okay.
Explain to the viewers what's going on in this photo.
So this this is a really cool spot. It is referred to as the Rock Cut. It is buried in the kind of the heart of what's called the Huron Mountain region. It is, as you can see, it's a rock cut. It was made for a railroad, dug and blasted by hand in the late 1800s. There's a whole backstory on this, but the interesting thing about like the history of it is the company that was putting this railroad in to go from Michigami to the Huron Bay spent millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and the train never ran because they miscalculated. And this rock cut and one of the areas before it, I guess the ascent or descent, the angle was wrong. And even though they bought these huge train engines, some of the largest ones that were available at the time, that were supposed to be able to do the elevation, I can't think of the word, it's just gone.
The grade.
The grade, yes. They were supposed to be able to do the grade percentage. They couldn't. So the whole thing ends up going bankrupt. People that are in charge, supposedly like flee the country, and that's the story of the Pashiki grade and the rock cut. And so here it stands out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you can really see it from this photo, but there are literal like train tracks running there. You can't so much see them anymore, but oh yeah, there you go. You can see the ties
anyway. Yeah.
You can see the wooden railroad ties that run up there. So it's really epic. Like that's a sight, man. I mean, it's beautiful there. And as you can see, the greenery there is great. Now it's kind of turned into more of like a little as us Indiana folks say, Patrick, it's turned into a little crick.
Yep.
And that's just kind of all that it is now. But it is out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, middle of nowhere. It's epic. It's a great.
Yep. Yeah, and for the record, you're not going to get me to give you the coordinates for it either.
Yeah. See, look, it's an Orbis Overlanding exclusive. I mean, pretty
good
sweet.
times.
So, okay, Patrick, I gotta fill in my day on this. My day. So,
okay, yeah.
Go to Rock Cut, right? Hang out for a few, and I'm like, I am just gonna roll out with Troy, another one of our people that was on this expedition with us. Without diving down a wormhole too much, he was having issues with his trailer hitch on his Subaru Outback Wilderness, and he was towing a trailer. So that day we had to take road all the way back to camp. So we had to travel back down this road, back down another road, and then make a huge, like 90 miles detour to get to camp that day. So I ended up not rolling into camp that night until I think it was about 9 o'clock about. And that was a long day, but the day was saved when we had delicious burgers, delicious bacon cheeseburgers. So wasn't such a bad day after all.
Yeah, and then I mean that's not the best picture of that camp location, but that camp that you rolled into is probably one of the better camps.
Yes.
Looking for another picture over here.
That is my favorite campsite period. So just on the other side of those two cross treks there is Huron, right?
The Huron Islands, yep.
Yeah. So Lake Huron's just on the other side of that. It's a beautiful beach.
No, it's Lake Superior, but it's the Huron Islands.
Oh yeah, that's it. See, not from the area. I don't know. But yeah, so Lake Superior, Huron Islands. But yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. The sunset there, amazing. I mean, it was like overlanding dreams come true is what that was. Some of the most beautiful views. That's my favorite. Do I dare say it? My favorite campsite I stayed at in all of the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, period. And I've stayed at quite a few myself, and it was just a delight, a pure delight.
I don't know if video share through correctly.
Oh yeah, dude, we have video.
So this is very raw, no editing. Again, Josh hooking us up with the video, but here's the camp location.
I mean, what more could you want out of that? Look at it. Patrick, let's just get off this live stream and go back right now.
Yeah, I'm in. My car's still half packed, so
mine is completely packed still.
I just gotta be back by Wednesday next week. Actually, I need to be back by Tuesday.
Yeah, so that was our campsite. See, look, again, you can see all the Gazelle T4 tents littered across everything. I mean, we love our Gazelles. We love our Gazelles at Wannabe Overland. Yeah, so there was that beautiful, beautiful campsite. Patrick, do you have any fun facts? Oh, I do actually have a fun fact. I remember last year when we were rolling into camp, we pulled over and got to pick fresh blueberries.
Blueberries, yep.
There are wild blueberry bushes on the way into this campsite. And they were the best blueberries I've ever had in my life.
Locally referred to as huckleberries.
Huckleberries?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay, well, now inform me. Talk to me about a huckleberry. Is that
I think it's just a wild blueberry. Or it's just a UP thing. It could just be code so that the tourists don't know that people are talking about blueberries. I don't know.
I mean, we have like huckleberry stuff here in Indiana, but like I didn't know that it was wild blueberries. That's interesting. Very fancy stuff. All right, so I guess this is kind of a good time to jump into this topic real quick. Or you know what? Wait, what's your next photo? What do you got?
Marquette.
Marquette. Okay, let's hit Marquette up real quick, and then we'll jump into the side quest.
Okay. So this is the active ore dock in Marquette. In Marquette, if you've never been to Marquette is a really cool town. Probably the coolest town I think that's around.
I agree.
And yeah, so this is the ore dock in what's referred to as Upper Harbor or Presque Isle Harbor. Unfortunately, no freighters were in, but this is an active ore dock. You can see train cars on the top, and they're bringing taconite, which taconite is iron ore, and at the mining site they create basically balls. And so they load that in the train cars. The train cars drive out onto the ore dock. The ship slides underneath, docks, and then these chutes come down, and the taconite just drops out of the train cars and slides down and fills up the ships. And
so, zoom in a little bit on those chutes on the ore dock just so people can kind of see. So it's kind of difficult to see because, the photo resolutions and such, but there's over, I'm pretty sure there's like over almost 60 chutes on each side of that, right?
Yeah, probably.
I think that's about right. So yeah, those chutes, they come down and they extend like a slide down the ore dock, and then it dumps the taconite into the ship. So this is, I mean, it's I would say it's over a football field long, would you say?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's an engineering marvel. I love it. I'm a nerd for stuff like that. Marquette, favorite place. Period.
Good times.
And then also in Marquette, Patrick, where's your favorite place in Marquette?
3rd Street Bagel.
3rd Street Bagel.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah. So at a high level here, for those of you interested in our Upper Peninsula trip, this will be the town that we part ways in. Marquette. We're gonna go enjoy some delicious 3rd Street bagels, go cruise around town for a few, and then part ways. But yeah, the ore dock is amazing. It's breathtaking to see, really. I was fortunate enough to be able to visit in the wintertime and walk out to the ore dock, the old ore dock, the one that's not functioning anymore.
Yep, Lower Harbor.
Yep, and it was freaking amazing. So, real quick, Patrick, looks like we got a few more people here. We're doing a giveaway on this live stream, folks. Patrick has graciously contributed a lovely swag pack to give away. All you have to do to enter to win that is just post up in the comments what your favorite, most epic overland trip you've been on, and tell us about any hurdles you had to overcome in order to make it through safely and be able to get home. So, with that being said, Patrick, hit us with the next photo.
Okay, now we're on the rigs.
Oh, yes.
Rigs pictures.
This is my favorite topic, really.
We do like to talk about rigs, don't we?
Dude, yeah. I mean, do you even overland if you don't talk about your vehicle all the time?
Not according to my wife.
Yes, also same. So, all right, Patrick, that lovely lima bean sitting up front there.
Yep, that's me.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so that in the other picture that I had earlier maybe was just as good or better.
I'm gonna go with better because it shows off the bumper.
Yeah. So 21 Subaru Crosstrek. There's been a few modifications made to it.
Just you hear that?
Couple.
Just a few.
A lot of Rallytech stuff. So I've got a 1.5-inch lift. I've got a suspension lift on it as well. All the rear lateral links, control arm, trailing arm, all that stuff's been replaced with Rallytech gear, rock sliders, and these are true rock sliders, not just kind of shields.
Let me chime in on this, okay? So, me as a ex-Subaru fiend, moving into the larger solid axle vehicles, those are stout. Those are real rock sliders. Myself, I was like, there's no way those are real rock sliders. I watched this man jack up his car from the rock slider this weekend, last week. It is stout. That's a great quality product. And for those of you that don't know, this is, I mean, Patrick, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Don't let this inflate your ego too much. This is about as built as a Subaru gets to a reasonable standard. Really, the last thing that you could do to your Subaru is put like a torque lock or diff lock in it, in the rear end. And other than that, I mean, this is pretty much as far as it goes to still be daily drivable, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty close, because I've still got all my seats and everything, which some of the Crosstreks that are built more, you get into taking that out. But I mean, yeah, it is completely daily. I mean, today I was on the summer camp and swim practice carpool today with the Crosstrek, so it does double duty and does it pretty well. So yeah, but bunch of lights from Dark Defense. My bumper, as you can see, is nearing completion. So I've been running it a few weeks. There's some minor changes I'm going to be making, and then it will go off and be powder coated and be finalized. Yeah, and then I guess, like I was mentioning before, my rack wings for carrying the Rotopax tanks. I've got Midland radio. Yeah.
MTX 275.
Yep, I have the 275. It's a great radio.
Are you a Midland dealer?
I'm not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just an avid user and supporter.
So you said you mentioned Dark Defense lights.
Yep. Dark Defense lights.
Can I put you on the spot again? Can you pull up some good photos of some Dark Defense lights?
Yeah.
And give us a little rundown here. of some dark defense stuff. So, for those of you that know me, I'm not a huge light guy by any means, right? I'm just not a light guy. But let me tell you, folks, for the price of dark defense lights, it's kind of got me wanting to be a light guy. Not gonna lie. So here, Patrick's got his rig pulled up.
This is while you were taking your 30,000 or 300,000 mile picture.
Ah, yes. We'll celebrate that moment momentarily.
So, yeah, the dark defense lights. The reason that I got attracted to them initially is because of where they kind of sit in the realm of everything out there. And I've got nothing against Baja. I got nothing against Diode. I've got nothing against any of these. In fact, currently my fog lamps are diodes, Diode Dynamics. My chase lights that I still continue to run because I like the light are Baja, the S2s. I love that for a chase light. It's a small form factor. It's great. But what I've come across is the dark defense stuff for the price is, I think, the best quality and the best illumination in that price point that you can get. And that's why I sell them, and that's why I run them, and that's why I got so many of them. To kind of to the quality, so I don't have these on obviously, but my big round, it's a 7-inch round LED. That's a 10,000 lumen a piece light. So that light last year on our trip in the UP took the brunt of a deer hit.
Yes.
And you'll never be able to see it in the picture, so I won't even zoom in to try. But there's a scuff across the lens, and it actually broke the bracket that the light was on. But the light's fine. The light still functions 100%. I use it a couple times a week. I mean, never had an issue with the light. Just rock solid. So.
Yep. And your lights on your Rally Innovations bar are also dark defense, correct?
Yep. So these are the DDS4 Pros down here, same as what I have on the SMK brackets by my mirror. And then I have the 40-inch LTX, which is the single row light bar from Dark Defense, which is a real nice kind of small profile.
Yeah, that's a super solid light bar. I love the way it looks. Now, Patrick, well, you're praising them for their 7-inch light durability. I'm going to praise them for the light pod durability.
Yeah.
In the Rally Innovations bar. Remember once upon a time? Yeah. See, that's my durability story. Remember once upon a time where we drug your whole light pods into some pretty spicy stuff, and
yeah, like my whole car was hanging on my light bar.
Yeah. The whole car was just dragging on those light pods in the front.
I can probably find that picture.
And Patrick just powered through it. He really did. I mean, it was incredible. So
you almost think I'd do stuff like that on a regular basis.
Maybe, yeah, right. So, Patrick, if anybody wanted to check out the line of Dark Defense lights, where can they be found?
I've got them all on orbisoverlanding.com. I also recently did a YouTube video where I stepped through all of my lights at night in the cornfield behind my house with some distance markers, out on the far side of the field, so you get an idea of kind of the spread and the spectrum and the light output. I talk a little bit about kind of the different beam patterns, but mostly the I guess the light output and and the color too. That was kind of one of the things I touch on is different colors do different things.
So I just put the link to Patrick's website in the comments for anybody that is interested in checking out, if you have a Subaru, checking out any of Patrick's products, or if you don't have a Subaru, Dark Defense lights. I mean, check those babies out. Those are I gotta be honest, whenever I break down and finally want to spend the money on the lights, Dark Defense is where I'm going, period. I mean, you can't beat the quality. The quality versus price ratio is it's just there. It's great.
Yep. I think so. They work really well.
So, okay, Patrick, let's talk about some of the diverse rigs that were on this expedition. Like, what is the proper everybody's idea of proper is different. What is the proper rig to take to the UP, Patrick? It's not an 80 series Land Cruiser. It's not an 80 series Land Cruiser. I can tell you that right now.
Not something with solid axles is a good spot to start.
Great.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess what I would say is first, not to dissuade anybody from tagging along with you or me in the future. Any rig can do it, right? I mean, you've done it in your ladies' aim, your 80s Land Cruiser.
Patrick's had too many beers already, folks.
Yeah, and I still have like 3/4 left, to be honest.
I have already drank 2.
But I guess, yeah, there is kind of this optimal because of what we're typically doing across the UP. We're not gnarly rock crawling. We're not in these really sketchy, I mean, you can find some of that stuff, but the truth is in the UP, if you get into something that's really sketchy, you probably are not really supposed to be there. Like that's just kind of the way it is in the UP, which doesn't mean that it's not fun. The roads that we're doing are, gorgeous. They're super backcountry. I mean, all that exists because some of what we call county road isn't really any different than what you would call, or your counties down there in the Daniel Boone, you'll refer to as county roads too. You look at it and you're like, there's no way this is a county road, but it is.
That's my favorite thing about the byway is like, you'll go down there and you'll be like driving up a creek.
Yep.
And you're like, by the way, this is a county road and people use this to get to their house.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that the Subarus, I really do think, are ideal. The independent suspension handles the dirt roads and the washboards well. They're comfortable. They're fuel efficient. You've plenty of height.
That jab in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, just throwing it out there. They've got plenty of height for what we're doing in the UP. So yeah, and that's part of why I have one, right? Because that's my stomping ground. But there's all kinds of good rigs. But yeah, I guess I'm partial to Subarus, right? But
Yep, yeah. So I'll kind of give you a quick. Well, look, here we go. So right here, we have another person that submitted to our lovely giveaway, Patrick. This is Mr. Kurt, father and son, actually. Patrick, you're gonna like this. So James, the one that I had to take his grill off on the trail, Kurt is James's dad, and
nice.
James went out on a trip with us with Kurt, and then a month later I got a message and James is like, hey, by the way, I just bought a Jeep. I want to come out with you guys some more. So I was like, heck yeah, dude, that's awesome. So anyway, so Kurt said his favorite trip was our first Daniel Boone backcountry byway trip. He took 3-year-old grandson, and he's having a blast. And he's for sure going to be a lifetime overlander and off-roader. So it's
and those are good stories. I mean,
that's what it's about. So okay, so quick little rundown on our group, our wide variety of rigs we had. So we had and we didn't have time to put together pictures of all these rigs, so I apologize for that. I'm sure in the next coming weeks I'll post some pictures of this trip more in detail so you guys can kind of check out all the rigs that came with us. But so we had four cross treks.
4 cross treks. Yep.
4 cross treks. 2 of the new Outback Wilderness. Right. We had a Kurt and James. This is for you guys. We had a what I believe to be a stock Rubicon, a Wrangler Rubicon, a 4-door. We had a what I believe to be there's the Jeep. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then we'll jump right back then. So then we had this super stock, and Hunter, I hope you're still listening to this. Super stock Ram. I mean, man, look at how little that poor little truck is. I'm surprised he even made it through the first water hole. All right, now with all serious, I think he had like 6 inches of lift on that thing, and there were definitely 40s underneath that rig there. I mean, made my 35s look like they didn't matter. I was kind of disappointed.
It's a pretty sweet rig.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, that is, let's see, here's the patch right here. I think I got it. Bang. So that Ram belongs to Rebel Outdoors. Be sure to give him a follow on oh look, he's still here. Facebook, look, chiming in on the Facebook chat right now. Go give him a like. Instagram, Rebel Outdoors. Hunter's a great dude, and his rig's sweet. Goes on some cool trips. So be sure to check him out. But so, oh yeah, look, Patrick's on it. Look at it. Would you just look at that? I mean, you can't not like it. I mean, let's be honest.
And his headlights do really cool things when he powers them up too. Yeah,
his headlights are fancy. That's what makes you an overlander. You have to have fancy headlights. If you don't have fancy headlights, you're not an overlander. That's just it. Period. So, one of my personal favorites, like one of the favorites, honestly, I gotta be honest, and this is gonna come as a surprise to some of you. Was we had a Ranger trimmer.
Yeah.
And now it's completely stock, right?
Yeah, because Scott just got that. Let me find a picture. Here it is.
Yeah. So look, there it is. Look at it.
No, yeah. So funny story about Scott and his Ranger, and I've known Scott for a while. He's a cool guy. I was super glad that he came. And but we did a little side trip one evening. We got in the camp early, and this, I don't remember how many miles are on his trimmer, but he's only had it a few months, and I'm leading us on this trail, and he kind of asked me before we went, like, how, is it going to be real narrow or anything, and for true, Scott's not like, I can't get scratches on my truck. It's just that he hasn't done it yet, right? So it's the first set, and so I was like, no, I don't think so. It's all National Forest, Service Road or whatever, and he's like, all right, cool. So just through happenstance, I end up down this trail road where even in my cross truck, I'm like just dragging stuff down the side of my car. And the whole time I'm driving through there, I'm like, oh, I bet Scott's ready to kill me. And we get to the end of it, and Scott's like, I was so ready to get off that trail. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. So we had Scott. Scott's a great dude. Oh, Patrick, right here. Here's another good one. So, an interesting trip 2 weeks ago. So, a little backstory here. London sold his 4Runner last month to start an XJ project because for some reason he thought that was a good idea. Yeah. So, he made a 4-hour trip to the Badlands Off-Road Park here in Indiana, which, by the way, folks, we're going to Badlands this weekend. We have a trip there. If anybody's interested in that, shoot us a message. We'll get you signed up right away. So it was overheating on him. So that was his crazy adventure. I mean, I don't know why. Don't know why. So oh look, there's more. Here's more to the comment. Here it is. So it ended up overheating twice. Just overheated twice getting there. That's just the beginning of it. 3 times at the park, and then he decided to drive it home, starting at midnight. Got home at 4 a.m. and it was fine after that.
Nice.
Jeep life.
Something.
So yeah, then we had, let's see, we had 2 Tacomas with us. One
Yep.
of them, Nick's Tacoma was super cool. Oh, the front one, yep. His was more stockish kind of build, right? Had a camper shell on it. Super cool dude Nick was. I really enjoyed the trip with Nick. You know, I really liked his topper. His topper was very fancy. And
Yeah.
I don't know much about truck toppers, but if I had a truck topper, I'd want that one. And then the lovely truck behind Nick, we have a Army Green, and I always say Army Green because that's how Reed announces it. His truck is Army Green. It's Army Green. So Reed's truck, Army Green, I think it's a 21 Tacoma. And he is getting rid of the bed rack. If anybody needs a bed rack for a 21 Tacoma, shoot us a message. Make it a great deal. Getting a soft topper for it. So, yeah, those guys. We had, let's see. Obviously, our 80 series. Y'all know all about that. We don't really need to tell you much about that.
That's this guy.
Yes, there it is. There's that lovely pile of engineering. So yeah, I mean, I think oh yeah, we can't forget about, oh wait, we forgot 2 people. I am so sorry. I am oof. Okay, so we have other Scott with his Expedition. He had a Ford Expedition. I believe it was on 33s, and man, that thing was built out inside. It was incredible.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved that thing. I mean, he had like a little tailgate table. Like, it was sweet. It was a good build. Oh yeah, can't forget about Aaron.
Right,
Aaron and his Volvo. Oh, there's the Expedition. Yep. So look at that thing, dude. It's sweet. Super nice looking build. It got the job done. I mean, it did great on the trails. Didn't have any issues getting over any obstacles that we had.
Probably wasn't getting the worst gas mileage in the whole group.
Wasn't getting the worst gas mileage in the group. I was getting the worst gas mileage in the group, by the way. Yeah, I mean, that was a super solidly built rig. I mean, it was freaking nice. I really liked it. So, all right, Mr. Aaron and his Volvo. I don't need to say any more about this Volvo. It's a lifted Volvo. I mean, what more do you want in life? And it's turboed. It's boosted. You don't want anything else. That's it. That's all you need. Turbo
sweet
Volvo.
rig.
Turbo Volvo, problem solved, ready to go. So, yeah, I mean, I think, is there anybody that I'm missing here? You reckon?
Well, I think it's worth. We should throw out. So we had 2 Subaru Outback Wildernesses, as you mentioned.
Yep.
And both of them hauling trailers, ironically. The Woolly Bear, hauled by Troy.
Yep. Check out Troy on Instagram. He posts some super cool content. He's actually at the Overland Expo Pacific Northwest right now.
Yeah.
So his Instagram handle is Troy T Designs. So yeah, check him out. He's got some great content on his Instagram there.
Yep. And then the other one, not to be outdone. So this is a home built trailer.
So cool.
By Matt.
And the Instagram handle is Artemis _Trail Huntress or something, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, because this is Michelle's. So Matt has a cross track. Michelle has the Outback Wilderness. Both of them are completely built for off-road and overlanding.
Totally built. They're sweet rigs, both of them.
Yeah. So hand-built trailer, and it's really cool. I should grab. I think there's a good deployed picture.
Hey, Patrick, by the way, I just want to stress to you, check out this comment. Everybody's in on the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, James, I finally convinced Reed to get rid of his bed rack, and he's going to put a soft topper on his truck. So, James, if you want to help fund the soft topper adventure, his bed rack's for sale. even though you don't have a Tacoma.
Okay, so here, all right. So here's the woolly bear deployed.
Oh yes, it's so beautiful.
It's a cool setup, and then is this Matt?
And again, that's that epic campsite we were talking about. Check out the lake in the background there. Beautiful stuff.
Yep. Yeah, so this is Matt's trailer deployed. So, you know, they don't. It's a little smaller. He doesn't do the rooftop tent or anything, but kitchen kind of building it, and a lot of storage. So it's a cool setup, especially when you consider that he built it himself.
It's hand built. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the next option for us. Patrick, actually, one of our team members, Brett, he just bought a trailer also.
Nice.
So, and Kurt, one of our year pass holders, he just bought a trailer too. Everybody, it's like I leave for a week and everybody I know buys trailers. It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
So yeah, guys, it looks like we're actually 11 minutes over our time today. So.
Oh man.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun. But so yeah, guys, I just kind of wanted to do a recap here with Patrick of our trip. So Patrick, first things first, man. Who wins this giveaway?
All right. Well, so I'm reading the comments here, and I noticed that London doesn't have a rig right now. So I think London needs a swag pack to go look at some Subarus.
Yeah, London, dude. Subaru shopping. I mean, come on. I think that's the right choice for you. So, yeah, London, do me a favor. You can either send me or Orbis Overlanding a message on Facebook. And give us your address, and we'll get that swag bag shipped out ASAP to you.
Yep.
So, yeah, the stock F-150, dude. I mean, as long as you tow your trailer behind your F-150, I don't care. Patrick London built a custom home built overland trailer also.
Nice.
And it's sweet. I really like it. So, but yeah, so guys, yeah, with that being said, we just kind of want to give you a quick overview of how our trip went, and let you know why the heck I wasn't here last Wednesday. So yeah, if anybody's interested in joining us on our trip in the fall, it's on our website, wannabeoverland.com. So yeah, Patrick, man, you got anything else to add?
I don't.
Oh, look. We converted him. We converted him.
Oh, yeah, see? There you go.
I mean, London, check out Patrick's site. I think you're going to like it. That is orbisoverlanding.com.
We'll get you squared away.
Yeah. Just send Patrick a message. He can just put together a package for you. Just build the whole Subaru out in one shot. It's going to be great. So, but yeah, all right, guys. With that being said, Patrick, thank you so much for joining me this evening, and we will be back next Wednesday. And I'll give everybody a rundown next Wednesday on how our trip to the Badlands went this weekend. It's gonna be epic. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Cheers, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yep. That was saucy, boys!